When we talk about architectural disasters, we usually talk about the US or even Brussels, but today we're going to shine a flashlight to a very forgotten place, a place no one really talks about, which is quite a shame because what happened here could only be categorized as a total architectural disaster. Alright guys, welcome to the Ustya region in the northwestern part of Czech Republic, where one of the most horrendous and terrible architectural disasters in the world happened. If we ever look at a map of a normal typical city in the Ustya region, we'll often see the historic centre with its small and charming streets suddenly end with a row of commie blocks, or even worse, an empty space. And you might ask, why is that? How the heck did we let that happen? Well guys, in this video we're going to discuss just that, and how that actually happened, why it's a catastrophe, and how potentially, I'd say, one of the most beautiful regions in the world got ruined and scarred forever, and even like a potential restoration plan that could even bring this old, forgotten region back to its good old glory days. We start at the start of the Industrial Revolution, where a lot of people were moving to this region as it was full of coal reserves and industries, which basically created jobs that many people all over the then Austria-Hungary were travelling the whole country for. So this region was full of Czechs, Slovaks, Hungarians, Austrians, Germans, just full to the brim with all ethnicities, but most of the ethnicities were basically Czechs and Germans. So that, I guess, plays quite a crucial role in the history of the region. And up until the start of World War II, it was quite a very prosperous region, and it didn't really see any fighting during World War I, so it didn't have to rebuild anything, and the creation of the Czechoslovak Republic just made it even better for the region, as a lot of private businesses and industries were founded and moved to this region because it was very industrialized. And of course, as you might expect, these industries were a very big target for Allied bombings, and they were pretty much destroyed, the industries. But the thing is that most of the historic centres and the city centres were pretty much left intact. Of course, there were some exceptions, but the fact is that most of the cities were pretty much left intact. And after the war, with the newly elected communist government of Czechoslovakia now fully in charge, they realised this region has got a huge potential, both like in industry and it's got a lot of coal reserves, so like coal, I guess, which could be sold to the Western Bloc, which it was for a lot of money. So they realise this, and they want to basically turn this region into a communist/socialist utopia, and turn cities like Ústí nad Labem into a major rival to German cities like Dresden, which, spoiler alert, it did not really work out. Like, if you look at a map of Ústí nad Labem now and Dresden, you can see they didn't even get close. Like, man, stop trying, man. So, the idea was to fill the cities with new modernist and brutalist architecture. But the problem is that a lot of the previous, like, old parts of the city were still there. And why they wanted to fill the city with modernist architecture? Because it was the way at the time. It was the most modern, it was viewed as the best, and it had a lot of amenities like running water, proper toilets, which the old buildings could have had if they didn't lack the investments from the communist government, which would just not fund them, because it was easier to demolish them and then to build up commie blocks, which solved a lot of their problems. And to say that the demolitions were big is a huge understatement. Like, the communists really turned into a reverse version of Bob the Builder and started absolutely demolishing everything. Like, there is a story of a village that was demolished just because it was like a training drill for the demolish men or the demolish people, like for demolishing other big projects. And not just whole blocks were demolished, entire cities, and as I said, entire villages were just demolished. But the thing is that my problem not only is that it just got rebuilt by commie blocks, which are terrible, and especially if they aren't maintained. Shouts out to Adam Something for this line, and for most of the lines in this video. But yeah, they got built up by commie blocks, which are absolutely ugly and disgusting. And I don't know why the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia was degrinding them so much. But most of the areas also just did not get like built up by anything. It's just they just remain empty to this day, and there's like parking lots or just empty plots of land with grass. Now this might legit be one of my favorite cases in all of the Ústí region, where you can see a nice charming street, and you can guess what they did with that street. It's kind of gone, they kind of destroyed it. But if you look at the hill, even on Google Maps, you can see that there was some kind of like structure, and there were buildings. They did not even bother to demolish that. And looking at the internet, I saw like a plan to rebuild the area and build some kind of structure. Yeah, I'll let you decide for yourself. But, ladies and gentlemen, there is still hope for this rotten, destroyed region in the north of Czech Republic. And that is implementing the same plan that Dresden, Potsdam and all these German cities and some Polish cities implemented for a long time. And that is to actually rebuild these buildings the same way that they used to be. Or not even the same way, but in the same kind of style. And now I present to you 2 reasons why this is a good idea, this plan. First of all, it would definitely increase the tourism and the tourist economy and of course the local economy in this region. And the second reason is that the housing prices in the Czech Republic are rising, and by the state actually funding these projects, we could, I wouldn't say solve this issue is gonna definitely be here for a long time, but we can definitely help to make this issue smaller, I guess. And one day I might have the pleasure to sit in an authentic North Czech cafe overlooking the recently built historic street in the center of Teplice or whatever the fuck, sipping and enjoying my water because I'm poor as fuck. And suddenly I look at my phone and I realize that I've got a copyright strike from Adam Something and that YouTube sent a ballistic missile that is coming in 3 seconds.